Is this culture shock, or do I just not like it here? Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day today. Today we're going to talk about culture shock. First of all, what is culture shock? Well, culture shock is a tremendously overwhelming emotional feeling. It is a term that entails how a person feels about something that is different than what they're normally used to. Our family experienced mild culture shock when we moved from the northwest corner of the U.S. to the southeast corner of the U.S. So you can imagine the cultural differences when moving to a totally different country. Who gets culture shock? People who have never traveled abroad are more apt to get culture shock. And of course, the people who become the most shocked are the ones who have preconceived notions of a picture-perfect existence where nothing negative happens. They are the ones who emotionally have bought into the fantasy talk of best place to live in the world. It's uncanny how so many people can be swayed by such an out-of-this-world statement as best place to live. Think about it. How can someone else choose a best place to live for you? Anyway, when these misled people move to their new best place to live land, they expect it to be the paradise they were led to believe. But when life shows them differently, they aren't emotionally prepared for dealing with the differences, and they become overwhelmed by it all, and many of them leave. Oddly, this happens only after many months of living there that the shock hits them. We call it belated culture shock. For some people, the culture shock happens later because the first few months of their move, they're still on vacation and enjoying the newness of the foreign land they're in. But once they have to start dealing with life's day-to-day challenges, it eventually hits them like a ton of bricks, hence belated culture shock. Who doesn't get culture shock? Everyone gets some amount of culture shock. It's inevitable. But for some people, it's not enough to make them leave a place just because it's different. People who do not have expectations or preconceived ideas about how life is going to be seem to be more resilient and are able to adjust to life's differences. Young people seem to adjust better than the older crowd, but not always. You can prevent culture shock, or at the very least, experience a very mild form of culture shock by following these 7 strategies. Number 1, do not expect. Do not anticipate that their experience will be your experience, because experiences are personal. No one else can experience something for you. Therefore, we should only use other people's experiences as examples and realize that nothing is written in stone. Number 2, do not think that moving abroad is going to make you happier. Ancient writings teach us to love the person we marry, not marry the person we love. If every man and woman would just love the person they married, there would be no divorce. But instead, they marry the person they think they love, and well, you know the rest of the story. This principle also works for moving abroad. We should already be happy when we go abroad, not think that going abroad will make us happy or make us have some transformational change within us. If we're not happy within ourselves, then moving abroad is not going to change that. Number 3, be prepared for a big change. Most people simply don't realize what a big change it will be when they move to a totally different country. Vacationing in a foreign land and going home 2 weeks or a month later is not the same thing as permanent living. Nope, they are 2 very different things. Staying in a nice hotel and being catered to with room service, swimming pools, restaurants, and nightlife is not the same thing as paying rent, dealing with landlords, adjusting to a new environment, shopping and cooking meals, learning a new language, and facing all the day-to-day challenges. Change is difficult for everyone to some extent, and too much change in a person's environment can become too overwhelming for some people. So be prepared for change when you move abroad. Number 4. Come check it out first. Seriously, this is important. We have seen too many people sell their home, say their goodbyes to their loved ones, pack up all their furniture in a container, and move clear across the world like it's a simple overnight slumber party without ever seeing the place first. We know people personally, several couples who did this, and some left while others feel like leaving because really, they did not know what they were getting into. We think living here for at least 6 months to a year will give you the experiences you need to know if it's right for you. Number 5, know yourself. Can you honestly answer these questions about yourself? Is my type A personality prepared to handle the manana attitude? I always get my way, and when I don't, I give a piece of my mind. Time is money, money is time. I don't have time to shop. I'm okay with paying more for the convenience of it. I need to live in paradise where everyone else is going. It feels good to tell my friends and family what a wonderful new place I live in. Does some of this sound like you? You've heard the saying, when in Rome, it's easy enough to understand that when we are in another country that we must respect the differences. But some newcomers move abroad and try to change the differences by complaining about them to the local government, such as noise levels. But you moved to Rome knowing, or at least you should have known, that it was noisy to begin with, so why try and change the culture? It's their culture, not yours. Latin Americans love music, fireworks, and honking their car horns. Did you think you were still in the U.S.? Why leave the U.S. to recreate the little U.S.? The truth is, you may move abroad and love it, or you may not like it. Just remember, culture shock eventually recedes with adjustments made in your attitude. Some people have a harder time adjusting, and they are usually the ones that leave. And if you think moving to the next, latest, greatest, best place to live in 2017 will make a big difference, then you're in for another surprise. Just wait until the honeymoon is over in that place. Thanks for listening, guys, and have a great day.